Hello, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Shoot the Ish. And again, we have our guest host, Erica Kane. How you doing today?
I'm good, but I think I'm more of a permanent staple now. You know what I'm saying?
I would say that, but I'm still trying to learn the official greeting. You realize we greet every week on something different.
We do.
So, I will say that today's topic is gonna be something that you told me to check out. What was the name of the show that you told me about?
So, when you're on Netflix and it just pops up something new, or the top 10. That's what it was. The top 10, in the U.S. or whatever. And this was number 8. It's called The Worst Roommate Ever. And it just sounded hilarious, but I knew it was something more sinister. But I was just like, let me see what this shit is about. Because I'm always one of those curious type of people. Like, what makes them the worst roommate ever? And so I had to tell my co-host, like, yo, check this shit out so we could talk about this and talk about, wolves in sheep's clothing, as other people may say.
Look, I'm not going to lie. I watched the first episode. It made me actually say, you know what? I'm going to watch all 4 of these right here. It was crazy.
It's addicting. Once you watch one episode, it's addicting.
But one of the things that I realized, and it was like I watched all of them. Obviously, they're all different type of crazy roommates, right?
Yeah.
One thing that I realized, and to really talk about the deeper meaning of that show, just based on our topic, basically wolves in sheep clothing, basically manipulators, people. It was just interesting to see how people can be, people can be gullible, that gullible.
How people can be gullible, because then I also realized, when you look at the years, they're 2011, 2012. So this is 10 years ago that this shit happened.
One was 2017.
Okay, that was the most recent one.
That was the most recent one.
But it just shows that, people got fooled back in the day, and people still are getting fooled now, And it's how do you kind of identify those signs, you know what I'm saying, so that you don't get caught up? Not that you can, you obviously can't stop every fucked up thing that someone can do to you. Some people are just really fucking skilled. Like that one episode, the Marathon Man, the girl was he can lie really good. She said, you can't even lie that good. Talking to the camera people. But, so...
Look,
and we've never heard these people speak to us, so we are only speaking off of
I was going to say, we used to sometimes play like the devil advocate.
I've gotten manipulated before. I know plenty of y'all have gotten manipulated before. Some of y'all get manipulated right the fuck now. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy for me to see how that could have happened to someone, but, and I say a strong but because I'm not in their situation, moving in with someone's a little different. I really got to know everything about you.
Yeah, and I think that was the thing that got me with it, right? But you know what? I had to, while I was watching it, knowing that I was going to do it for the show, I said to myself, let me see and could I have been put in that predicament? Because it was one of the ladies that said, look, I was down. I'm sorry. I'm going everywhere. But one thing I got to say about this whole series was, don't ever put yourself in a situation where you need the other person.
Yes. That's a
because
big one.
Look, most of them, they were in a room. They were in a relationship. They had a relationship. Mm-hmm. The other person left, and then they were put in that need. And I'll tell you this: no matter if I'm in a relationship, if I'm in a relationship, I'm gonna make sure whatever rent I get or whatever mortgage, whatever, I know I can handle it by myself. Just in case that person may leave.
Even though it is also always easier said than done, because some people, let's say let's say they've been together for years and they move in together, so they're not thinking, or they're engaged, they're not thinking, possibly I could be handling this on my own. You know what I'm saying? So those situations, obviously, you can't, foresee if you've been with someone for a long time. But as he said, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to you as a person, regardless of in your situation, if you're in a relationship or not, you need to make sure that you are financially stable so that this type of so you don't become vulnerable to this type of situation.
Because every episode was like that except the first one. That old lady was murdering niggas.
To me, the first episode, Call Me Grandma.
That's what it was called?
Yeah. It was more, I won't say it was the worst, but I'll say it was more intriguing because this woman not only built relationships with these people. Every other person built relationship with only the people they moved in with. This woman built relationships with the families of the people that she had moved into her boarding house so that they could feel secure that she would take care of them, because she was a con man. She would walk around with a medical bag and claim that she was a doctor. And back in those days,
but she preyed on a lot of the old people. That was another thing.
She did, but I'm just saying she also tied in the families personally as well. She got to know the families. The families were on there saying, like, this woman made me think she was going to take care of my mother, and I later find out that she poisoned my mother, stole everything, and tried to say that she left everything to her. That, first off, would have been like, hold up, why the fuck my mom leave you everything?
You know what? The crazy thing about it, it was kind of scary.
People are gullible.
Yeah,
like you said.
But one of the things that I realized that was scary about it was like, dang, I don't want to put my mom nowhere. Like, she be thinking I probably do, but I'd be like, nah, I can't leave her to, like, it made me realize people do that, and people but then they realize is that if this is a family that nobody really mess with, like, you know what I'm saying? They realize that it's easy to, and that's that manipulation.
And that's what she did. She would kill them, take their social security check. Like, it's easy for them to do that, and that's why I gotta say, like, I'm not that, you know, something traumatic hasn't happened to me, but I can say I'm blessed because I have a large family. You know what I'm saying? So, God forbid something was going on, it would be more than just one of us that would know about it, and we would make sure that something got done. You know what I'm saying? So, if you got, you know, elderly family members, please check up on them. Especially if they're in nursing homes, because my aunt, God rest her soul, Aunt Sadie, died in a nursing home due to COVID. Mind you, this is around the time when there were no visitors, so she only got COVID from who? Someone who worked there. You know what I'm saying? So you please check on your loved ones, especially when they're not around.
I just realized what was crazy about that. She had a lot of people dead in that backyard.
Well, deeper than that, this bitch started when she was 20 by roofing niggas.
Yeah.
And stealing them.
Yeah.
She had a career. And you know what was funny when they arrested her, right? And she said, well, I once was a good person. And I was like, when you was a baby? Like,
no,
this bitch was fucking people over since she was 20.
I'm not gonna lie.
4 different names because she got married like 4 different times. So that's why it was hard for them to keep up with her.
But all right, but even going into a lot of the episodes, one of the things that I realized, I was like, do people got friends like the Mexican lady with the Chinaman?
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
Like, I'm here's the thing that I don't get. Why do women? You help me out with this. I realized most of them, they were women who moved men into their homes.
And that to me is curious, but some women don't understand that, like, don't have that caution. You know what I'm saying? Some women don't have that cautionary warning. For me, because of what I've been through, because of what my mom tells me, a woman would be the first option I would want to move in with. Because I know that when I've tried to be friends with guys, there's always been a line crossed. You know, it's always, well, I was just trying to be your friend so I can get with you. And I don't need that incident happening with a fucking roommate. Someone who can literally, and exactly what he did, break down my door, rape me, and kill me. That would be my worst fucking fear in the world. And I think that's why...
Yeah, that'd be like it's a stranger.
I'm making sure, like, right now, I'm about to move into a new house. I'm securing a foundation so that my daughter, if she don't want to move out, she don't ever have to move out. She doesn't have to worry about having a roommate or not, because those are things that, like, I don't think about just for me. I think about for my sisters, my children. You know what I'm saying? Even if you have sons, the same shit can happen to sons. A crazy bitch can fucking move in and turn his whole life upside down.
Nah,
I think. Please teach your children what we're saying. Like, you gotta look out for people.
Like, no, I just look at it like this. Don't live above your means. I think that's what it goes to, because the
one girl though, she was in the army, so I feel like she was living with what she was given.
No.
The Mexican lady.
The Mexican, she had a roommate.
No, but I'm just saying, she was living in the army, so she couldn't, at that time, change her own income. You know, like, it's not like she can get another part-time job while she's in the army.
No, only thing I was saying was, the fact that you got that place. The only reason you got that place is because you needed to have somebody else.
But we don't also know if maybe that was the only place available. There was a time constraint. Like, you don't know people's situations. It's easy to say something when you're not in a situation. It's all I'm saying.
It is.
So you can't just say there's a straightforward, like, thing that you can do. Because especially as a woman, because you said, you asked me.
Yeah.
As a woman, I can definitely say, most of the time, women are not even getting paid the same amount as men.
Nah, let's not go on that, because I had a long conversation reference to that paid thing.
I mean, you can look it up. There's statistics on it.
But look, they say statistically speaking, right? We jump in the gun. This is what we sometimes do. But realize when people say that, right? I work at the same job, and you'll find that probably the men are making more than the females, right? But people will say, "Oh, that's because you're female." You know what happens a lot of the times?
I'm not saying it's because she's a female.
No. I'm just saying when they say
making less.
But sometimes they don't even fight to like. Some women take a position and don't negotiate. I realize men knows to negotiate.
It's easy for you to say if you're not in that situation.
But only thing I'm saying is when they say that,
you cannot just say there's a straightforward way of doing something.
Well, I mean,
every situation is fucking different. That's why there are different people in this world.
That's what I'm saying. So even if that is the case, though, it's a show, right? And the way I look at it was, all right, she's on there. It could have been that, but when I look at if this scenario happened like this, every last one of those scenarios was basically the same scenario. And I know what people have a tendency to do. People, it's two of us, so that means we could afford to get something bigger. I
don't feel like there's anything wrong with that.
No, it's nothing wrong, it's almost like people live for that. Oh, it was so nice in the beginning.
And that is true. So you have to kind of apply that to the way the world is. Like, not everyone, one thing my mom always told me, not everyone's going to think the way you do.
Oh, no. I don't expect people.
It would be lovely if people did, because we want to put out this information to make people feel safer and make people feel like they can achieve things in life without doing too fucking much. You know what I'm saying? But it's not always easy to physically do something.
You know what? And it's just even relating to now. Like when you see a lot of things that happen in a way, right? I realize that a person could get all this. Could get a lump sum of money. Just in general. Like, just the world, the way I see how people maneuver. Not saying that everybody maneuvers this way, but a person could get a whole bunch of money, right? And the first thing they'll be thinking about, they're thinking about spending it a lot of times on stunt wear. And I say stunt wear, meaning I want to get
bread and butter.
Yeah, like I gotta get the new this. But then you realize, like, yo, do you know you need tissue? You should probably get a boatload of this.
I used to say all the time, bitches be worried about buying fancy handbags, but don't have no fucking money to put in that shit but an EBT card. And I've seen it when I used to work at ShopRite. Bitches have Louis Vuitton pulling out EBT like. Priorities is all fucked up. Yeah. Niggas buying brand new cars. I have cousins buying brand new cars, either still living with their parents or they're sharing a place with their boyfriend and some other family member. So it's like you're worried about paying $500 a month on this Benz or this Beamer or this Lexus, whatever the fuck you got, but your real priorities are not set because where you live is fucked up. Like, you live in a projects with a brand new Lexus sitting outside. How much sense does that make?
No, and this is why I say,
but far as the age that we live in.
And this is why sometimes I say that mindset doesn't go anywhere. So when I looked at these, when you're looking at everything that happened with one person, it's like that. Everybody had that situation because, again, I always say, look, not everybody thinks like that, but I've always been a cautious person, right? So truthfully, if I get an apartment, I'm going to make sure if I got a 2-bedroom apartment, I know it's hard, but I got to be able to think in my head, just in case. When you get a roommate, you got to think about just in case.
I wasn't even thinking about that because if they have a roommate, they obviously do have a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
It's not like they started off with a 1-bedroom and they rented out their living room. So
that's the point.
I can see.
I mean, because even when I got a 2-bedroom
on my own, I'm not going to assume. Like, even if I get a roommate, they can sleep in the living room. But I'm not going to start off buying a 2-bedroom assuming I'm going to have a roommate because not everyone is going to be as consistent with you as the bill.
Because, look, and you saw what happened. Old boy that wouldn't leave the house.
They knew who to prey on, too.
Yeah. No, but the old boy that stayed in the house, he'll pay the rent for the first 3 months and then said, I'm not paying rent no more. I'm not leaving.
This is my house.
This is my house.
Yo, when he said that shit, I'm like, yo,
no.
This nigga a whole different type of crazy. But
he moved her furniture. The
serial squatter, right? Yeah, the serial
squatter. She had 6 chairs in her kitchen, right? I mean, her dining room. He told her, she come home, all 6 chairs was in his bedroom. And she was like, yo, where my chairs? He was like, you don't need all these chairs. It's only you and me. I'll give you 2.
She was like, so he let me have, and the producer said, wait, he let you have 2 of
your
chairs. She said, Because he needed a desk and a table, and he said the chairs made a good. Like, nigga, IKEA is a store. Like, the fuck?
Yo, you realize where he moved at? He never had a bed.
Yo, that nigga pulled up in a U-Haul truck. You know that nigga was sleeping in his car. Talking about, I was tired of paying for Airbnbs. Nigga, you was sleeping in your car. That's why you was ready to move in that day.
I'm not going to lie. When I seen this episode was the Marathon Man, right? I ain't gonna lie. She was like, and this is when you realize, I don't mean to talk about white people, but that's what them animals got that bitch in trouble. She was like, he met my dog.
No, it wasn't the Marathon Man. That was the cereal squatter.
Not the cereal squatter. Yeah. He met I thought
our
dog was gonna meet, and I knew right then and there that was.
Yo, Cliff, when she said that, right, I was like, and that's why you don't let fucking animals judge. An animal will fuck with someone if they give them food. Like, are you kidding me?
Yo,
are you fucking kidding
the dog's
me?
No, but the thing is, the dog. She was like, he brought the cat. That motherfucker came with a cat.
Wait. She said word. She was like, he said he had a dog. Then he showed up. He brought a dog, a cat, a fish. Wait,
and I'm allergic.
Then when they rewind it, they find out that nigga took the cat from one of the bitches. He got kicked out of her own house. Wasn't even his cat.
Yo. One of the ladies said, I liked him because he was doing this to a lot of people. I liked him because
he was doing it for over 12 years.
Yeah. 12 years. But the one lady said he stayed with her for 4 years, but he hit that. She even said
the first one, they got intimate. And he had to because the first one was very strong-minded, so he had to fuck her. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to fuck her over. But that's why I say they know what they doing. They know what game they playing. These are literally predators. They know their prey. They know how to sink in their prey. They know what to say to get their prey to get distracted so that they don't gotta, do what they say. Because it's like I was watching, and I gotta put you on another one. I was watching this other documentary called "I Am Not Your Negro."
I've seen that already.
Cool. Yeah. Based on James Baldwin's unfinished book, and one thing he was saying was that once the white people were done using us as slaves, then they wanted to kill us. But when they couldn't kill us all, now what they trying to do? And in my mind, I'm like, now they trying to distract us. And that's exactly what these motherfuckers did. They tried to use these people. When they couldn't use them, they tried to get rid of them. And if they couldn't get rid of them, they distracted them.
The one that I found, another one, the Marathon was interesting. And again, I didn't understand. Homie, you already know people got...
The nigga claimed that he was Palestinian. Wasn't even Palestinian. He was Lebanese.
But no, what was funny, you remember the white guy was like, I gave him the money. I realized I wasn't going to get it back.
That nigga gave him over $150,000.
That just goes to show you how much money homie was probably worth, because he was like, I was just going to give it up.
And that just showed you how much he got in the bank. That means you could have got more out of that nigga. Why didn't you just... See, where that nigga at? Cause I need that.
Yo, he was about to get killed. But I still.
That nigga was about to get got.
He got killed.
With the stick. He got lucky and people showed up. He said, "Please don't tell nobody." Like, nigga.
No, but he was really look. I'm talking about this show, but it's some stuff in this show.
Watch it. The worst roommate ever on Netflix. You gotta
I didn't understand this one thing. Out of all the episodes, but this one episode, Marathon Man, confused the hell out of me. No, this nigga.
That was his name, Yusef Khater.
This motherfucker basically killed the roommate, right?
No, he attempted to
No, I said basically, he thought the chick was dead.
Had her in a tarp and
everything, took dirt and all that.
Her name was Callie, and that's kind of my daughter's name.
But the problem was, she made it back to the house. All the roommates was there. They take it. She was like, "You did it." She basically said, "You did this to me." He was like, "I don't know what she talking about." Take it to the hospital. The nigga was still living in the apartment.
Because, first off, they said she felt like that's what she was saying. It wasn't until she got to the hospital when her roommate said that's when she was speaking in complete sentences. So she might have just been saying certain words and they didn't know what she was saying. You get what I'm saying? Because if the roommate says...
I want the black version of this series.
If the roommate says that... Well, the black series, all of them will be murdered. But the roommate says... If the roommate says she wasn't speaking in complete sentences until we got to the hospital, that lets you know she probably was trying to say that he hurt her, but she was just wrapped up in a tarp. She was in an abandoned... She said there was... like oil and ash, like that shit was wild. wild.
I don't know if you remember though. You know they said it was nothing they could do.
No, I do remember that.
Yeah, he got away with it.
But that's the Chilean government. Well, he got a year and some change after they finally caught him.
Oh, but they was the base.
But that was the Chilean government. You got to also realize they're in another country. But I bet you the fact they're doing this series, he ain't gonna get away with doing this.
Oh
shit.
no, he finally got caught. Yeah,
he's out. His name is out there too much. Lately, I looked on Google. His whereabouts have been unknown lately. That nigga probably went off the grid. He had to because now there's a series out about you. Like, if no one knew by Googling you, niggas know now by watching Netflix.
But just like that other Netflix show, what was it? That nigga that was getting the people. What? Wait, the Tinder date. That nigga, he the pimp. He a player.
The Tinder who?
The Tinder.
I didn't. What is it called? Tinder date?
Whatever.
Or Tinder swipe or something.
Whatever the Tinder.
I feel like I saw the thing, but I didn't watch it. Wait,
guys,
let me pull it
she
up.
just had me watch this.
You never told me about.
Oh
Tinder
my
swipe.
God! Oh, you gotta watch that. When you
never told me.
Yo, I told you watch Kanye.
You did.
We were supposed to talk about that, but
we can because you know he going on his shit with Kim right now.
Yeah, no, we
the Tinder swindler. That's what it's called.
That he better than all.
This is a movie.
He better than all. No, it ain't really a movie. It's a documentary. It's a documentary. But he better than all these kind of artists.
I wouldn't say better.
No. His they're
on a level
Marathon Man and him
better, maybe more cunning.
No, but Marathon
but better
Man
is giving a positive twist on it. Cunning is better.
Man, if I'm a criminal, I'm saying, well, I'm not a criminal, but
are you?
No,
you sure?
I ain't getting nobody my address.
You sure?
Hey, you ain't nobody moving in because that happened to me with one of my cousins. They moved in my house, and now that I realized she probably didn't have to move out if she was on some swindling stuff.
If she would have realized squatters' rights, yeah. And
I couldn't live with that, yo.
I think that's fucking crazy. And that's why I say this government is not a democracy, it's a hypocrisy. Because how do you give squatters rights? A squatter, Google that shit. A squatter is a person who unlawfully, first off, if they unlawfully enter a place of residence, how are they even able to have rights? But that's the hypocrisy, not the democracy that we live in.
Nah, but I realized with
and sidebar, check out my blog. It's going to be in the description box. Vent.code.blog.
Also, like, subscribe, and
share, baby. Just share it.
Yeah, that too.
Comments.
So, but one of the things that I looked at, one of the main thing about also when you looked at this show, I was like, sometimes there's even choices that we make. It was like, don't make choices out of duress, because you remember she was like, she said, oh, he had on khakis and he was real preppy. I was like, that's what it takes to let a person in your home.
So think about
But she also said he was a lawyer.
But think about it.
And they rushed.
It's about the image, okay? When white men go in to rob banks, how do they dress? Like businessmen, right? Okay? So you don't assume they're going to rob the bank because of how they look. A black man can walk into a bank dressed nicely too, and people might still look at him sideways like, what the fuck is he doing in here?
Why he getting all this money?
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's about image. White men especially have an advantage of that. They have an advantage first off because most of our presidents have been white. So when you see a white man dressed very nicely, pristine, clean cut, you don't assume something can be wrong. Ted Bundy used to dress very clean cut. He even pretended to have a handicap, and that's how he got victims. So you have to realize the media plays on images. So don't just judge a book by its cover. And that's literally what
all of them
saying. Exactly. A wolf in sheep's clothing. Don't look at someone and assume she's an old grandma. She ain't gonna hurt nobody. Fuck out of here, because that bitch was dragging bodies in the backyard.
How many did she? Was it like 7?
It was like 7 or 9 by herself. She had no accomplice, and she was 80 years old.
Nah, she was 60.
No, she was 82 when she died in prison. She was 75 when they caught her. 75 years old, dragging bodies. That's how you know this bitch was doing it for years. She built up the cardio, that arch strength. triceps and biceps and biceps and triceps and triceps and biceps. Ew.
Let me do an ow attack.
Ew. 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 Ew.
I just wanted to do
Okay, y'all. So back to the topic.
All right. So she couldn't wait to do that shit.
I was like, oh, that's okay.
It's like,
you know we like to have fun up here. We be serious when we be having fun.
Nah, but in reference to the show, I thought it was you told me to watch it, and now I watched all four.
When he sent me a picture of him watching it, I was like, cool, like. Because I knew he was going to fuck with the topic. I already knew he was going to fuck with the topic. You know what I'm saying?
No, because, see, to me, I just realized, like, you got to look at it in all different, because I had roommates before. I had a situation where somebody moved into to my place, but I never had a
roommate. It was just one other person?
No, I only had one roommate.
So, like, how did you find the roommate?
No, it was one of my boys.
And what made you feel secure that you wanted to move in with them? Like, other than them being your friend?
That was it. I just, like, we knew each other.
And see, and that's another thing, because my sister was talking about possibly moving in with one of her friends, and I said, you got to make sure that they're clean, they can pay the bills, like, because you never really know someone until you move in with them.
You know what? Here's the funny thing. You're so right about that, because there's so many things that you don't even think about when you have a roommate. You don't think about, like, I never understand how a female, like, I think it's harder for females, because let's say, no, it's the same thing, because I can have, me and my boy will be there, right? And when he gone, I can walk around my house a certain way, right?
Yeah.
But then at the same time, he get a girl. And you be like, we used to have rules like, yo, your girl can't be if you ain't. But sometimes she'll walk in. I was like,
so you know what? That's also interesting, because at one point I had a roommate because I was actually living with an ex of mine, and he had a roommate. And there were certain things I had to change when I moved in there, because, like, for instance, his roommate and him, they were cool, which is fine. But his roommate was always in our room. Like, they were always watching TV together, always smoking weed together. And after a while, it's like, bro, I live here too now. So I don't want this nigga in my room. Like, I want to be able... Bruh. For real. Like, I want to be able to, like, relax, or let's say unwind, or let's say... Because I know me, I like to just walk around in my lingerie. And I don't want to be doing that in my room if... you know, the roommate's there. And I remember I had to tell my ex-boyfriend. And when he told the roommate, that's when all hell started to break loose. Like, the roommate started to be very petty. Like, we would go out to eat, and he would eat our leftovers.
All right,
like,
what was your rule, right? Because, again, you said they were both roommates.
Correct. And then I moved in and with my ex.
So my question was the rent split 3 ways? See, that's where it fucks up at.
And you're right. And
so the roommate got people be doing that shit.
When I moved in, my ex told me I didn't have to pay anything, because I made sure I cleaned up and I did the cooking and I did all the housework, as well as helping him run one of our website companies.
No, fuck that. That's you and him. That ain't got shit to do with the other roommate.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah, I realize that's
I had
but see, and that's where the problem is. Like, you will come in thinking like it's your place, because you with your man. But
I mean, technically it is mine, because if it's half of it is his place, if he's telling me this.
No, you're not on the lease.
Let me finish. My ex was also the one who would pick up the slack, because a lot of times the roommate wouldn't pay the cable bill, the electricity bill. Sometimes he would slip them on rent. I remember one time I actually had to pay the roommate's.
I just be like half the time what I look at, a lot of times with roommates, I just look at it like, even when I got the place, I always made sure that I could handle it dolo by myself. I mean, like, for me, it was just that good. I'm just caught. You know what it is? It's like you gotta be cautious, because you never want to get to the point. Like, you know what it was? No.
What he's saying.
Look, no. You know what it was? And this is why I'm always cautious, because when I was younger, my mom I didn't have a fallback plan. I didn't have something that I could fall back. Like, if this don't work, I could go back to my mom's house. I didn't have
now or never.
Yeah. So I couldn't afford to be homeless. So I had to make sure whatever I did, I don't care what nobody else has said, but whatever I did, I had to make sure I could handle whatever I had to handle by myself. Either I'm going to have to work a little bit harder, or just I made sure I put myself in the right predicament. And I realized by watching the show, a lot of them had that situation.
Yeah.
And even like one of the sister of the Mexican girl, that was the one who got killed. She said, "I feel bad because my sister did ask me to be her roommate."
She did,
yeah.
and I
have a situation
honestly,
like that.
I don't know all the other victims on Call Me Grandma. I wanna, pay homage to them. Rest in peace, and rest in peace, Maribel. That was a Mexican army lady. She was gorgeous, and it was just like it's always the pretty ones. Like, not that the ugly ones didn't die, but like, come on, like.
Oh no.
But
Y'all know what I mean.
yeah, I was like, damn, the ugly ones certified.
But they still here. Like, fucking y'all doing?
Yeah, but nah, I thought I just to let you guys know, it was just something good to actually watch, and it was something like by watching it. Obviously, when you're gonna do a show about it, you're gonna find out, listen to certain things or look at certain things a certain way and be able to just say, like, how can I translate this into something like a lesson learned? And I always say the biggest lesson for me is don't put yourself in something that you can't handle yourself.
And that's why I also said the wolves in sheep clothing. Like, people may seem really good and they may do certain actions, but for me, I kind of give people like a test, like to really see if they really about what they about. You know what I'm saying? Like the marathon man, he would get upset whenever he realized he wasn't getting money, or when he was about to get found out. So it's kind of like if you feel like someone in your life is not being real with you, test them. Like, I mean, what can really go wrong? I feel like if you test them and they pass, then you feel like, all right, cool. But if they don't, then you feel like, damn, I'm glad I did that.
I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna lie. The cartoons that they did on this show made them the most horrifying people in the world, but they look nothing like those cartoons.
Yo, and it's so funny. My sister was like, it's the cartoons that gets me. And I said, that was my favorite part. That's what let me know some shit. Like, this is when the juicy part of the story was coming in.
Why the cartoons were more vicious? They had the face. I was like, I wouldn't let that.
Eyebrows like that.
I wouldn't let none of those cartoons move in with me at all. None of them.
First of all, a cartoon wouldn't have to pay rent, but...
Yo, I would erase that motherfucker real quick.
Like SpongeBob.
Yo. Oh, I was about to do that.
Bob.
I was about to do that, but I didn't know if I'll get 4 hours later. But I don't have that.
Shut the fuck up.
I was like to say, I know I probably could do that.
Yeah,
YouTube is strict.
Yeah, hit a rabbit.
What? I don't know what that is.
When SpongeBob was getting sick, and she was like, "I'll be over there quicker than a jackrabbit," and Patrick's like, "Yeah, hit a rabbit."
Oh, I'm sorry.
You gotta be a real SpongeBob fan.
Yeah, I'm not. Now,
girl Molly know what I'm talking about.
Now,
if you watch
another topic I want to talk about. What you feeling about Kanye this week? I want to know. This is a good one.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
What's wrong? Why?
Because that's my nigga.
I want to know. All right,
like my brother right there. And
I wish he was your brother. I asked for a loan.
I wouldn't. But
I would, shit.
I would try to coach him. But I don't know, honestly. And it's funny because me and my mom were talking about it because I brought it up to my mom. Like, just what he was posting, like, his videos, talking about his custody with his children, not being able to see them. And one thing I can agree on is that when he talks about his daughter being on TikTok. And as a new mom, I can say that if my baby father put my daughter on TikTok and wasn't really thoroughly monitoring her, I would be upset as well. Because children don't understand, especially someone like Northwest. She doesn't understand her influence. She doesn't understand that when she posts things or when she shows videos of the house, there are people who are watching for shit like that. Like, there are weird people, like we talk about in the worst roommate ever, who are looking for someone to slip up. So, being that I'm not at that caliber, it can still happen to me because there are still fucking weirdos who be stalking regular ass people. So I just feel like in that sense, I agree with them. North should not be allowed to be on TikTok whenever she wants to go on or post whatever she wants to post. But I don't really know.
How old is she?
I don't know. I can Google. But I don't also really know what Kim is going through. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why Kim is not letting him see his children. Or if, they maybe have a certain agreement where he gets them every other weekend or something, and maybe that's why she doesn't want them to go to Sunday service every Sunday because you don't have them every Sunday. Northwest is 8 years old.
So my
and
question,
8 years old is to me way too young. I have a cousin. I love her to death. She's like 12. She's on Instagram. She's on Twitter. No, not Twitter. She's on Instagram. She's on TikTok.
Hell
she's
no.
on Snapchat. And
Hell
I have to watch what I post because she's on it. But I can't block her as a friend because I love her and I know she's watching me. And I know I'm kind of a role model to her because, you know, she's not always around both of her parents. Sometimes she's with the grandparents. She's kind of all over the place. But I just feel like as a mom, I don't know if I would feel secure with my child being, like, she can be on my page, but not having her own shit.
But see, sometimes, like, I truly believe, like, I'm not going to lie, once my son is able to articulate certain things articulate his feelings and stuff like that, he talks. But I'm going to have him doing YouTube shows. I probably will, but
that's because you're going to be there with him. Yeah. You're not going to just have him do it freely. And that's
I would. Yeah, I think what he said, he said, my daughter is talking about I'm in love with a goth chick or something, he said. And I'm like, I get it, but you can't. But see, this is where I blame Ye. Bruh. The woman you married got popular off of having a sex tape.
I mean, but you can't blame him. He fell in love with her.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
You can't base.
No, but
it's like if a girl was a hoe before, you can't base a girl off her past actions.
Wait, look, my thing is if I meet a woman and I met her in the club, right?
I mean,
that means she likes, that's what she likes to do.
We've all been in situations
or
relationships or marriages where we didn't really want to be there, but we were there. And we have to deal with the after effects, the after consequences.
But I'm just saying, you can't. I get he's trying to be old school with a woman that's not old school.
You can't dwell on the past, is what I'm saying.
No, I'm just saying
you can't dwell on what he should have did because he's already done it. Like future niggas pay attention, but
but here's my thing. That's like
ex niggas got trapped already.
You deal with me. I met you, right? I met you. You're a wild, crazy lady, yeah. You're a crazy lady, but you like to have fun and wild. But I can't assume. I can't now. It's like if you smoke cigarettes when I met you. Now we together. I'm like, yo, why you always, nigga? I always smoke cigarettes. Don't be trying. But
Cliff, you gotta realize not a lot of niggas think like you. When I used to work in a strip club,
you co-signing what I just said about Kanye. Then
I'm not. I'm saying to you, just listen to this. Look, all I'm saying to you is. Well, first off, he's not talking about her sex life.
No, I wasn't talking about the sex life. I'm talking about she is a person that likes to be in the media. Oh,
definitely.
So of course, for her daughter,
whether it's negative or positive,
whether or not her daughter's being on that, she's gonna look at it like she's gonna look at it like, what's the big deal?
I was just gonna say that I used to strip in the strip club, dance or whatever, and I would meet niggas there. I would later date, and they would try to get me out of the strip club, and I used to be like. You upset that I'm dancing, but that's how you met me. So it's like, you can't. Ew.
That should have been an ow moment.
You can't change me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is who I am. So if that's what you were saying, then yes, I do agree.
Yeah, because to me, I feel like I get, he's trying to be old fashioned. You know what I'm saying?
I think at this point, he's just trying to see his children.
See his children and treat his child like regular.
But
he can't be regular.
But exactly.
He's not regular.
You're not a regular person. And it's like, honestly, he said, and he was 100% right when he said, the courts go in favor of the mother. Why shouldn't they? Unless the mother is strung out on drugs, unless, she's physically abusive. I'm saying this because as a mom, you've carried this seed within you. The man can still drink. He can eat sushi. He can eat subs. He can do whatever he wants to do. He can eat his steak medium or medium rare. But as a pregnant woman... I do not
agree with what she's saying. I get what she's saying, but I don't agree.
But as a woman, I carried that child. Like, my baby father wanted to name our daughter. And he wanted to give her his last name. And I said, well, you're not my husband. So if I don't have your last name... she's not getting your last name. And you're not carrying her. So who are you to tell me any different? She's still your daughter. She's still going to love you regardless. But I've, literally half of her DNA is my DNA. That is what mitochondrial DNA is. When they find corpses and they try to figure out who they are, they go through mitochondrial DNA. That is DNA only from your mother. You have DNA from your father too. But it fades out. after like I think 15 years or something. Your mom's DNA stays in your body up until you're at least 50 years old. Actually, no. I think it's until you die.
I want everybody to look that up. I don't know if that's true.
No, please look it up. But I'm just saying because I watch a lot of forensic files, like when they find bones and shit, and they try to figure out who it is, and they realize, oh, the mother's still alive. We test the DNA, their DNA. There's certain strings that pop up on the DNA spectrum that show that this was this person. So the reason I'm saying all of this is just
I was about to press the rewind button.
As a mother, okay, it is understandable if you feel like you want to have a certain dictation over your child's life. But because you did not make this life alone, the father must have some say-so in something. So, like, for instance, I named my daughter Califia Antoinette Miller. She has my last name. But her father is constantly in her life, okay? He's constantly there. But he doesn't live in this state. So, for me, it didn't make sense to give her his last name.
Because he didn't live in the state?
Yes.
Why? I mean, well, this ain't in comments. Yeah, okay, that's what you said. But I feel like guys, we get the short end of the stick because it's just. I think it's just cool to say, but the reality.
You gotta understand you don't understand.
No, that's why I say I'm not talking about this. It's about we talking about Kanye. That's what we talking about.
I know, but I'm giving a perspective because I'm not in their situation. But I can say from someone who has a child, and I'm not with the father of my child.
But
I'm
you
giving
just
my
said
point of view.
You just said he's always you say he's.
I'm always gonna make sure he's around.
No,
so
you're saying that he's
100%
around.
Kim needs to make sure that she's being that available with her children. I don't deny my baby father any rights to his child. If he wants to see his daughter,
look,
he can see his daughter. I would never tell him no. She can't do this with you, or she can't.
No, I have both of those scenarios. I have one that basically said just fell off the face of the earth, and then
you are a father,
and then with my son,
child needs their dad.
But this is a sensitive subject.
No,
but that's why I get what Kanye is saying.
If we bring up our point of views, it adds into when we bring up celebrities.
But what I'm saying is based on like I hear what Kanye West is saying, right? And they'll say that he's acting crazy or he's wilding and stuff like that. But the reality is sometimes it's like, what else you got to do when you realize nobody's helping, nobody's doing this for your favor? You ain't got no choice. And people say, why are you putting that out on social media? Nigga, he's a social figure. So I get what he's doing. You
got to understand, I'm not disagreeing with him. Like, that was my point. I was not disagreeing with him. I understood him. I'm just saying, because I don't know all the facts, I'm just giving my point of view because I'm still learning how to figure out, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still understanding how to co-parent. I don't know. So I can only imagine being in their lives and their limelight, but having to fly my kids out to come see me just for my ex-wife to call and say, yeah, North didn't get on the flight. I could not imagine.
Wait, I'm a little confused because they have more than one kid.
Yes.
So is it just North? Or is it like North isn't the one?
North is
the first.
She's the oldest.
Yeah.
She's 8 years old. She's the only one who's on TikTok.
No, but when he said he can't see it, was that the only one that couldn't go, or the other ones could go, but she wasn't?
One that wasn't on the flight. So he's upset because why can't all my children be here? And I understand that.
Yeah.
If you send the others, why not?
Because look, and I'll say this.
And that's why I said to my mom, something seems fishy because it seems like I don't know if they feed it into her mind.
No, here's what happens.
Know me.
No,
don't know me.
Bruh.
But that worked too. But
the universe is like both of y'all.
But the funny thing is, I realize, and I've been there. Sometimes they play that game. If they know that's the one, the female sometimes. Okay. If they know you want that one there, and they know you focus on that one, they'll play that as a pawn. So she may be playing that as a pawn. And I ain't like what Pete Davis did.
I mean, definitely agree
whatever
with
the fuck
that,
his name is.
You know what I'm saying? But I would never do that because my parents were married when I was born, okay? They separated And the controversy in my family is over the separation. One side believes that my dad did something, and one side believes that he didn't. So, as a child being in the midst of that, being a new mom, I realized I never want to put my child in the middle. Because being the oldest between my parents, I was put in the middle. You know, like I was constantly, had to lie or maneuver things so that my dad could see me and my sisters, because my mom, for some reason, did not want him to see us. And it even spilled into, there was a newspaper article about my family. Like, legit. My mom called the cops on my dad. And that's where one side of the family believes it's a lie and one side of the family believes it's a truth. But hearing all of this triggers me because...
Look, there was something that I tell my friends this all the time. I said, look, when I was younger, I would see guys that don't, what I would assume ain't being around their kids. I was like, oh, that's a fucked up nigga. That's a fucked up nigga. That's a fucked up nigga. Because you only see one side. Now when I'm older and I know the things I go through, I'm like, you know what? It ain't always because you don't know both sides. So I really apologize for a lot of dudes, because sometimes those stories, and it's not that you give up, but it's like you got real life. Like, we dealing with real life. Like, you dealing with going on. No, but I'm just saying in real life, like, some people say, well, you supposed to fight all day for your kid. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. Well, that's when you can't really listen to people, but at the same time, but in your situation,
because
it's like you dealing with work every day. You dealing with trying to take care of this. Then if you have a new family, you got to deal with that.
It's not like my kid was taken in fucking Europe. That's a different story. A bitch would be hopping a plane. But when it's not so simple, and that's why I say people are so quick to say what they would do or what you could do, or you can suggest advice, but never feel like someone needs to adhere to what you're saying, because if you're not in their fucking shoes, you don't know what they're going through.
No, that's some real shit, because I realize, like, when you see all aspects and then they'll try to say, yo, Kanye wilding, or so. I seen a comment where somebody said, oh, you see him with pictures with his kids, and they say, oh, he a good dad. And then somebody in the comments said, oh, because he got pictures with his kids. I was like, it's not really that, because at the end of the day, he could have none.
My thing is, their comment saying he's a good dad could have been from something aside from the pictures. Pictures don't mean shit. People do couple goals, and I used to look at Megan Good and her ex-husband. Couple goals. They so cute. They gonna do this and do that. And now look at them. Divorced. So
no, what was that guy who was talking about his woman, and then there was I think he was a motivational speaker, and then later they was making so many memes of it. She had the motherfucking bonnet. Oh my God, it was a black couple. And then he always talking about what you should do for a woman and a woman in a marriage. And the next thing you know, he was the one guy caught cheating with multiple women.
I mean, it be like
that. And his wife was on the couch just like,
why do you think I be saying we live in a hypocrisy, not a democracy? It's just like before there was like one congressman who was adamant on banning medical marijuana. This was before it was legal. He was adamant on banning it. A month later, this nigga got charged because they found 2 pounds of marijuana in his car.
Oh, no.
So just when you think something is one thing, it really is. I always like to say to people, people be afraid of certain shit, and it's only because you don't know. Look at the Wizard of Oz. Perfect example. They thought that the Oz was this big, magnificent person. Found out he's a little timid nigga behind a fucking curtain. So you gotta look at the world like that. The Oz. They portray themselves as these big, glamorous people. They ain't really nothing but a little fucking right.
Well, the bottom
with a magnifying glass trying to look big.
Look, my thing is.
Bottom line is, I'm a badass bitch. Follow my blog, vent.co.blog, and like, subscribe, share, comment on our fucking channel. Like, what y'all doing?
Yeah. What she said. Look. She tried to rewind. But no, I just like to say, just to let everybody know, we definitely have been appreciating the love. I'm starting to see that the podcast has been gaining traction, and I definitely appreciate it. And as you see, we have been being consistent. And one of the things that I would always say, if I can, like, look,
you can say it.
The podcast was created on the basis of always feeling like there's something. Everybody always has something to say, and it's always like if you have the means to allowing that to go out, and you put the work in, you know what? You're gonna find that
fucking do it.
That just be motivated to do it, and I speak to a lot of people, even off of the podcast. I speak to a lot of people, and one thing I realized, and I want everybody to realize: give advice, give knowledge to people. Even if you can't take advantage of your own knowledge that you could give somebody, don't hold back on giving that, because each one, I really do believe in each one teach one, and I'm not a hater. Yeah. My thing is, if I know I can't do something, but I know that person can do it, I'm going to give that knowledge.
And don't expect someone to receive it just when you first say it.
Yeah.
And that's literally why I keep telling y'all to check out my blog. My most recent blog is about my point of view of how I became on this podcast. Like, literally, it was kind of like the universe that pulled us together. And I feel like our podcast is kind of like planting the seed of knowledge. You know, like, you don't have to adhere. Like we said before, our least viewed video was on mental illness. But you know why? Because a lot of people are suffering from it and they don't want to face it. You know what I'm saying? So we're just here because we see a greater value and a greater perspective in the world. And we just want you guys to, like, just check it out, you know?
Yeah. I mean, and one of the things that what I have realized is, like, you know, I enjoy it. And we, like, look, and it's something that I said to you guys a long time ago, and this was before Erica was on the show. I was like, look, not only do we do a podcast just to, like, send something out to the world, right? But I'm not promised tomorrow.
Okay.
And
say that again for the bitches in the back.
I'm not promised tomorrow.
At all. No, none of us.
And the fact that I can leave something that my kid can say that was my dad, like, it's there. It's going to be there. They can always see my personality when I'm regular, my personality when I'm a little twisted, whatever, and enjoying fun. And to me, I realized, because we've all had loss in our lives and things like that. And one of the things that I realized, I sometimes say to myself, like, if people were to at least put themselves out here, we live in an age of technology, so everybody can see us. Record your lives.
There's no excuses.
Yeah, I truly believe record your life. Record your life.
I mean, why not? Because, I mean, I know people say, you know, because when the extraterrestrials take over, but they're already here. But just do it so that you can leave a legacy. Like, I love that you said what you said about your son, because that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So that my daughter, I don't know what my daughter wants to be when she grows up. My daughter is going on 9 months old. I don't know what she wants to be when she grows up. But at least on her journey to figuring it out, I want her to check out this podcast. I want her to check out my blog. I want her to see what her mom was doing before she was born, you know, as she was pregnant, after she was born, just so that she could see, like, and just like your son can see, yo, our parents are really, like, following their dream, doing something that's passionate within their hearts. And hopefully we bring that passion to them.
And that's what I will always tell you guys. Like, look, it's no hater here. Like, and ever since I did the podcast, I've had people that ask me, like, yo, what do you do? How do you do it? And I'll give the advice. Like, I have gave the advice. And I realized that some people I know, they stop doing it. And then I'll tell,
motivate people to do what they want
because
to do.
At the end of the day, I'm not going to lie. This is a job in itself.
I'm not going to, every fucking Tuesday, I make sure I come here, and it's like, I'm not going to lie, I feel like Kelly on Regis and Kelly. Except it's not every day. But I just feel like, okay, we about to film. We about to do some shit. We look good.
Regis and Kelly. So is that, am I Mr. Gap too? Wait, Regis. Well, I ain't.
You're thinking of Michael and Kelly.
I'm thinking Michael and Kelly.
Okay, Michael and Kelly.
Yeah, do that. I'm going to put a black piece
straight
right here.
Hand with the bay hand. Ain't no man hand in my life.
Okay.
I did that shit out,
But, again, everybody.
But I do like girls, too.
A moment of silence. But no, But
I'm over the silence for the
No,
dicks I couldn't get in my palace.
Oh my God!
yeah, I wanted to play that one. But but all I gotta say is again, thank you guys for tuning into another episode of Shoot the Ish. And again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I have another outro.
Thank you for watching and subscribe.